Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is Chris from Cinema Trailer News, and this will be my breakdown for Miss Marvel episode 2. I'm loving this series so far. I mean, it's just that first episode was so good, and this episode I think it was even better. It's just I hope it continues to be this good throughout the whole season. And really a really interesting show for Marvel here. Now let's get into the breakdown. So we open to Feels So Good by Mace and Puff Daddy, just opposing last week's entry where Kamala enters the school as somewhat of a downtrodden loser. Here she's dribbling in the hallway, correcting the coach for being a trembling idiot and shifting people off the way of her locker. Here she bumps into Kamran, who she feels some chemistry between, and this is given a subtle nod by the chemistry book that she ends up holding. But book bumping is a common trope in romantic comedies for how characters meet, and Cameron actually plays a big part in the comics. I don't want to spoil too much, namely what the character does, but he himself ends up getting powers too, and he becomes an inhuman. In the source material, we discover that he and his family originally lived in Jersey City, and they were close to the camps. However, they moved away when he was 5 and ended up living in Houston, Texas for several years. Canberra was very intelligent and he got accepted into MIT. In the show, he's British. On the night Kamala gained her powers, when the Terrigen Mace rolled in, he was exposed to it, and it's going to be interesting to see how things, if it ties in with him being an inhuman. However, it's important to bear in mind that they have removed the inhuman origin story from Kamala's origin story. So who knows, he may have the mother bangle or something along those lines. Potentially Kamala may even be an inhuman already, and the band could just unlock her ability to tap into this and the negative zone. Her powers are still a bit up in the air though, and as now we're not really sure where they originate from, though it is likely we will find out in the next episode. However, we do get this important line about power being within her, that her powers are coming from within her. Last week, her mother quickly hid the item away from her after it showed up, and it's like she knows what is really going on, and it feels connected to her DNA. Also explain why it comes from her grandmother, and potentially her mother is well aware of what is going on. Next, Kamala also drops this line about Ant-Man. Bruno said, "What makes you think you have Ant-Man's powers?" And Kamala responds, "Because we are both charming and we look a lot younger than we are." This is like an in-joke to power, not really aging. Also, it should be noted that in the comics, Kamala can shrink down similar to Ant-Man, and she does this when trying to rescue Zoe and her the night out. Now, since being saved by her, Zoe is catching on the hype, and she's currently going viral in the school. This is similar to the comics, and in that she became a star amongst the students by featuring in several news reports. This poster art from the homecoming dance, an event that might end up popping in the series, and as we know, is something that was pivotal to the origin of the MCU Spider-Man. So it messed up the name Nyla to talk about who saved her. Her powers got a haywire in order for her to figure it out. we're going to need a montage, and this is common in superhero movies, and this looks very similar to the one in Shazam due to the tone. Kamala ends up looking over a mobile game, not sure which one it is, let me know. And this inspired her to create floating platforms. This, however, can also be used as weapon, as she knocks out Bruno's aviator, which could also call back to Captain Marvel, who wrote the same thing. Upon analyzing her abilities, Kamala asks if she is Asgardian, potentially. And in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we actually find out there are many of them had lived on Earth for millennia, and they actually had children, most of which were unaware of their legacy. Kamala also wears a green pilot jacket during this scene. Some of these moments further calling back to her idol Carol Danvers. At this point, both she and Nakia head to the Mars. This is pulled directly from the first graphic novel, and the conversation they also have is almost exactly the same. Nakia and Kamala discuss how pristine the men's section is, and this is several mirrors show that she views her brother being able to do what he does, and she was forbidden from going to Avengers Con. I don't think her mother is just doing this. It's just doing this to keep her safe. Though, as she likely knows the treaty about Kamala and their century, a show thief has struck again, and Kamala will no doubt get to the bottom of this in a future episode. That night, she heads out to Zoe's party, and I love how she constantly getting backers from Bruno, and this is party is, you're right, is directly due to the graphic novel. In that, she was given an orange and vodka, which she was also told is just orange juice. Similar to the source materials, she ended up spitting it out. However, they do change some aspect of it. A line in this made her Hehun, which is when the Terrigen meets Roin, and it was there she gained her powers, but as she already has them, she doesn't need. Camera does a front flip into a pool, and man gets several combo points from Kamala and also has dot dash. They end up heading out in Kamala's ankle scar. Kamala calls shotguns, but Bruno is there to cut block her, and he was there the entire time. And Cameron and calls Bruno Brian, and then bring up the Sweep Shop Boys and also the Bollywood movies Basara, and they hit off just like the pair did in the comics. And in each of 13, the pair talk about Bollywood movies with one another, and he gives her his number, then get dropped off at CQ, which, as we discussed last week, is where Bruno was in the comic. Kamala returns home and dances to My Baby by the Rollins, and she's over the moon. And I thought that Ayman Vallani is killing it as the character. She really captured the fun side of Kamala and spends the night testing camera, and we get another great animated testing along with some baby slow, the name of her YouTube channel. Kamala has powers malfunction as good, which is similar to when they went during H2. How this happens seems to be because she resting her hand against it and her ribs slip, which then activated. And it has been said by the creative team that she's similar to a jinn or a genie, And much in the same way that you wrap a lamp to activate it, this could be mirrored in the bands, and Kamala has away from this. And as we discussed last week with G. Wiley Wilson, how the show is going to be about identity. This was shown in a split panel that appeared, and Nakia is also a character that touches upon this. She brings up her hijab and discuss what it means for her, which I know a lot of people will relate to, and I do think it's important for everyone to get characters like them in shows like this. And hey, it's a nice little scene between the pair. Bruno gets into cottage, but he doesn't really want to go because he wants to spend summer with Kamala. He goes outside to ask if she wants to better her powers, but she gets another plans with Kamra. He lets her drive, showing that he views her as another doll, where her parents and brother don't. Anyway, her brother stands outside the car and Kamra ends up touching her wrist. I actually think this might have been setting up for a future scene in which he ends up touching the banger and then rubbing that, which will set off the power. That night, her father goes over the family history and he brings out the petition that touch upon the British rule that caused numerous issues in the country. This is clearly weighs over the family head, and I do think moments like these are important to discuss. They often whitewash. He also brings up the America that happened, further hinting to the powers that exist with the Minerva's family. Minerva's mother was a daughter at the time, and she and her family were meant to board the last train, but she got separated from them. She managed to make it back into the train, saying that she followed a trail of stars to her father and the band's light at this point, and she has a visual of a figure like her grandmother, Asha, who disappeared during the petition. It seems like she may even be trapped in the negative zone. She's attempting to escape. She appears later on in the entry, reaching out to her, and I think that if she grasps her hand, then she finally see the truth. Her brother brings up Evil Eye, and then Kamala FaceTime her grandmother, who started the call with phone zoomed in too close to her face. She doesn't really talk about it, and as maneuvers will get say, but I do think Aisha was eating having the band, and she got stuck in the negative zone because of it. The next morning, her father brings up Bon Jovi, a band that also originated from New Jersey. The 8th festival is back, and Bruno ends up attending too. Kamala makes an Illuminati joke, knowing that they know everything. There's several girls at the festival, including the Musket Bros, Pit Boys, the Sunday school teacher, the Insta clique, who we saw photos in the mosque early, the Vans, Mini Harami girls, and lastly the Illuminatis. And Nakia is trying to take his vote for the ball and then get him to put his money where his mouth is, and why they move to America. Now, Zoe being a celebrity, someone she blows off in her face as she is interrogated by damage control. Hilarious, Agent clearly uses the exact same tactic that he used on Ned. However, where he saws to the eye, Zoe beats into the good cop and completely plays into his game. Playing these scenes side by side is so funny, and ends up changing his tune and trying to find out what she knows. This leads then to surveilling every temple and mosque, and we discover that Aisha similarly put a curse on everything she touched. There was a rumor about her killing people, running off with other men, and just being an all-round badass. It is possible the negative zone end up bleeding into the real world, and this caused the curse that they are talking about. At this moment, a kid almost died of suicide by Sophie, and Kamala steps into her costume. This is similar to the comics in which she helped people throughout Jersey City in her disguise. The shadow is Nightlight. She finally controls the hard line and creates platform to walk, on which allows her to save the boy, and this sends her viral. I did slow down the Instagram names, but I don't think there was anything there that was a nod to the comment, like how they were last week. I might be wrong about that, but I don't know everything. Now, one of the drones from Far From Home passed up here, and as we know from No Way Home, Damage Control confiscated these from Peter Parker after they arrested him. Karan shows up. Wow, and now she and he and she meets her mother. Now it is very difficult to tell who she is. There's not actually a character that I'm aware of in the comics with this name. However, the word Nanya means star, and this be a hint to star from the comic book universe. This character is a Captain Marvel villain that actually end up stealing her powers, potentially showing what her end game is here. She also joins the Thunderbolts, as we know from last week's announcement from Justin Crow. A movie for the group is currently in development. So that's my breakdown for Miss Marvel episode 2. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribe to your channel, share this video with your friends, and like always, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.